Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't.
Right, we're on. Today we're talking about the golfing machine. So you may have heard about the golfing machine. It's a book written by Homer Kelly. Homer Kelly was a scientist back in the day. This was a book that was thrown at Bryson DeChambeau. Bryson DeChambeau took the book, studied it like a madman, came out and won a lot of golf. It's a very technical book. It's about the geometry and the physics of the golf swing. It classes golf as a geometrically oriented linear force. Easy for me to say. And it describes the golf swing as the hinge action of an angular motion on an inclined plane. Whew. So it's heavy stuff, but I'm going to break this down. I'm going to take little segments of it and try and make it more relative to the average golfer. This one tip today is going to improve your golf. This is going to be unbelievable with your ball striking. It's all to do with the first imperative of Homer Kelleys Golfing Machine, which is the flat left wrist. If you get this right, honestly, it will transform your strike, transform your game, ball flight. Bryson DeChambeau talked about the first thing he did was create a straight ball flight. Once he had a straight ball flight, he then went for distance and started to shape it, but this will give you the straight ball flight. Wouldn't that be fantastic? A reliably straight ball flight. So here we go, I'm going to read this out to you. So, it's very complicated, as I say, it's all, it's mad. If you've read the book, you know you start at chapter 2, then go to 69, it's just, you do not start at the start of this book. So here we go, we're on release motions, 4D0, drills for release motions. Now Homer Kelly states here, I'll read the paragraph out to you and then we'll break it down. Bear with me for this, there's loads of gold in here, honestly. So, normally, only swingers with their standard wrist action, 10-18A, swivel, that is. Actually rotate the left wrist through release into its vertical position for impact. That must be pre-programmed not later than top, as per 8.6. Have a clear picture of the intended impact hand position all the way down, not the process of achieving it. That's what we're going to talk about. But all players must swivel, actually rotate their wrists into the parallel to the plane position for the finish, 8-12, after the follow through. What does that mean? Now, if you're average man to read that, I mean, that is just unbelievable. That is one paragraph of this whole book. So that's what the book's like. But let's break that down. Normally only swingers, 99% of golfers are swingers. The only hitter I really know, it would be Mo Norman, Bryson DeChambeau to an element, but basically most golfers are swingers. Normally, only swingers with their standard wrist action 10-18A. So a standard wrist action is turned and cocked, which is basically a strong grip. So a standard wrist action is turned and cocked. Here we go. So standard wrist action is turned and cocked. That's cocking, that's turning. If I do that, if I turn and cock and place that on the grip, I'm in a strong position. So basically I can see 2 to 3 knuckles down there because I've turned the wrist and cocked. There's the cocking, there's the turning, strong. Now when I say strong, turn and cock's a relative grip. It's normal, 2 knuckles as you look down, maybe even 3 knuckles, probably not 3, 2 knuckles as you look down, but it's turned and cocked. That's the hand position that Homer Kelly's talking about. So that's one of many, many variations. There's 12 components in the book, 144 variations, so 12 to 15 variations per component, and that is one of them. So we've got a strongish grip, great. So normally there's only swingers with their standard wrist action, 10-18A, swivel, that is actually rotate the left wrist through release into its vertical position for impact. So release into its vertical position for impact. The vertical position is the flat left wrist. So it's a vertical position of the wrist flat. So Homer Kelly states there, the swivel, that is actually rotate the left wrist through release into its vertical position for impact. So rotate the wrist, so we've got a strong grip, or a neutral grip let's call it. Rotate the wrist into its vertical position for impact, which is the flat left wrist. So we've got a normal grip, and then at impact we want that normal grip to turn into a flat left wrist. So there's swivel happening there, because we started off strong, we've not started off flat. We started off a little bit strong, turned and cocked, and then from there we get into flat left wrist at impact. So there's an element of swivel happening to come from that position to that position at impact. Swivel action. All sounds a little bit complicated and technical just now, but wait for it, it's going to actually happen. It's amazing how he words this. That must be pre-programmed, here we go, not later than the top per 8-6. Now the top of the golf swing is where the hands stop. So 8-6 is where the hands stop. So that, let me read that again, that must be pre-programmed not later than the top. So you've pre-programmed that, so you know that's where you're going to be at impact, but you need to know that before your hands get to the top. You can't make this decision from the top or on the way down or on the way back up. You have to make sure you know that before you start. So you've got your neutral grip, great. I know I'm going to get to the vertical position, the flat left wrist at impact, so I'm going to go from there to there at impact, so I know that before I've even got to the top of the swing. 8-6. Top of the swing is where the hands stop. So let's say I go to here, I know before I get to there that I'm going to return into a position where I've got a vertical flat left wrist. That is mega important, the fact you know that before you even get to the top of your swing. But how do we get there? How do we get the flat left wrist? How does that swivel work? Well, that's up to you. Wait till you hear this. Have a clear picture of the intended impact hand position all the way down. Okay, so that must be pre-programmed no later than the top per 8-6. Have a clear picture of the intended impact hand position all the way down. So you visualise where the hand's going to be at impact, so I know it's going to be there. So up, I'm aware that's where I'm going to be. All the way down, I can visualise my hand is going to be there. Purely visualisation, not actively rotating or swivelling the hand. Have a clear picture of the intended impact hand position all the way down, not in capital letters, the process of achieving it. What? Not the process of achieving it. That's brilliant. So you've taken your grip, you know what impact you want a flat left wrist, which is the vertical position we talk about. You know that before you get hands stop at the top, 8-6. And on the way down, you visualise where it's going to go. You have a clear picture of the intended hand impact position all the way down. What? I thought this book was supposed to be complicated. And then he continues to say that, not the process of achieving it, but all players must swivel, actually rotate their wrists into the parallel to the plane. So the parallel to the plane, what does that mean? That's the back of the left hand up the plane post impact. That's a little bit technical. Again, but all players must swivel, actually rotate their wrists into the parallel to the plane. The parallel to the plane, as I've just mentioned, is the back of the left hand up the plane post impact. So I've taken my address position with my grip, which is turned and cocked, so we class that slightly strong. Good, I get to the top of my swing, I know I'm going to a flat left wrist or vertical position at impact. I know that before I get to 8-6 is the top, and then on the way down I'm visualising where the wrist's going to be. So I'm visualising the hand impact position, so I'm able to get to there, and then post impact, let me just read this again to get this correct. The player must swivel, actually rotate their wrists into the parallel to the plane, which is the back of the left hand up the plane post impact. So I'm there, and then that's impact. From the point of separation to 1 yard past, that's release. That is your follow through, and then from there into finish, the back of the left hand goes up the plane. So there, the back of the left hand now marries up with my plane, red, yellow cane, and continues up there. That is your swivel action. So down into impact, vertical position, and then from there there's a rotation of the wrists, post impact. So I've visualised the impact position with the wrists, I've got to there. The body's assembled itself to that, because basically I have a clear picture of the intended impact position all the way down. I'm there, then from there the wrists start to activate, club face starts to close over a little bit, and then the back of the left hand continues up the plane. There's the back of the left hand on the plane and up. Now that is golf. That is pure golf there. Look at that, back of the left hand up the plane. Now if I get funky and I try and scoop this ball or try and help it up somehow, and I get to here and I've laid the club backwards and I've lost all the compression, then the flat left wrist is not existent, it's not vertical at impact, and I come up here and look at the back, that needs to be on here. But I'm there. If I overdo it and turn it, of course, look, back of the left hand in relation to the plane, not good, needs to be there. Fantastic, eh? Technical? Not really. Not really, you've just basically taken your grip that sees two knuckles. You know you're going to change that to a flat position, that's impact fix, let me just explain that. Impact fix is an address position, you take your address position, excuse me, take your address position as so, and then from there, feel impact. Matt Wolf, Matt's in there, turns, plays his shot, Bryson, his impact fix, so he puts himself in an impact position, relaxes, and then plays the shot and returns back to that position. So impact fix, so there's my grip, 2 knuckles, turned and cocked, and then from there, I change that to flat left wrist. So that's what I'm visualising I want to be like at impact, the wrist in that alignment. So we've done that. We've taken our grip, we know what position we're going to get into impact, we get up to the top, we've made that decision by the time our hands stop at the top, and on the way down I visualise the position I want to be in, I visualise that little impact fix, so it's all really visual, and then when I come back through I just make sure the back of the left hand rides up the plane. If the back of the left hand rides up the plane, then my release is perfect. Brilliant. There's one little thing I'd like to mention as well, or 2 little things. Firstly, the follow through. This here, that's not your follow through, that's your finish. Follow through is from the point of separation. Once you've hit that golf ball, once you've come down, we've got a grip. Good. I'm going to get to there. That's going to change its alignment. I know that by the time the hand gets to the top. I'm visualising that now. I've got to there. That is impact. So the point of separation, when that ball goes to 1 yard past, that is your follow through. And then from the follow through, riding up the from there upwards is your finish, and the back of the left hand then goes up the plane. A lot of people think you hit the golf ball and you just follow through or you just finish there. There's 2 elements there, there's 1 yard. Second thing I'd like to mention, which I tell so many of my students, and you'll get this now, this will all fall into place once you realise the difference between these two. This action here, coming into impact, cutting across the golf ball, cutting across golf ball, running out of right arm, there, that is not golf. That is not golf. That is coming down, that is there, going up the plane. Look at the left wrist, it's not there. That is an attempt to try and help the ball in the air. See it so often, that is not golf. If we think about everything I've talked about today, and you want to put it into one move, watch this, this is golf. You ready? So that is not golf, whatever that is. Here's golf, you ready? I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do this, doesn't matter about my feet, I'm just getting to there. That there, ready? That there is golf. Can you see the difference between that action there, what's happening with the body, what's happening with the club path, what's happening with the left wrist? You can see as I get to there, that's on the plane, that motion there is golf. That is not golf. I'll let you figure that out. I do that face on to you. Watch the difference. Unbelievable. That, my friends, is not golf. This here is golf. That's golf. And that's everything we've just talked about there. Homer Kelly has made that extremely technical. The guy was a scientist. Of course he's going to write like that. That's why Bryson's like Bryson. That's why Bryson does Bryson things. But if I read this again, visualise what I've just done there. Normally only swingers, forget that. Normally only you guys with your standard wrist position, wrist action, 10-18A, which is turned and cocked, so 2 knuckles. Swivel. Actually rotate the left wrist through release into its vertical position for impact. So your normal golfer with a standard grip should rotate the wrists as they come down to make sure the left wrist is flat at impact. Basically that's what it's saying there. No scooping, no helping, no running out of right arm, nothing. That must be pre-programmed not later than the top. So you've got to have that in your mind before you get to the top of your swing. Don't just try and fix it on the way down in that 0.3 seconds that you have. And then from there, have a clear picture of the intended impact hand position all the way down. So you know where you're going to be, you get to the top knowing that, and you've got a super clear picture of that on the way down, which is exactly what I've just done there. And then we ride up the plane. And to ride up the plane, hand position all the way down, not the process of achieving it. So I have a clear picture of the intended impact hand position all the way down, not the process of achieving it. So we don't want to manipulate it or try it, we just have a clear picture. The body will assemble itself, it's very clever. But all players must swivel, actually rotate their wrists into the parallel to the plane, which is back of the left hand up the plane, position for the finish. After the follow through. after the follow through. After the follow through. After I've got it all, my grip's good, I want to be there. I know that by the time I get to the top, I can visualise myself being there. And then after the follow through, which is 1 yard past, the back of the left hand then rides up the plane. Voila. There we go. Whoa, there we go. So, Golf Machine book, very technical, unbelievably hard to read. In fact, almost impossible to read until you break it down. Reading that first chapter, you probably thought, where's this video going? Why am I even listening to this? This is far too technical. Yep, absolutely, me too. And then I break it down into that. And basically, it seems quite simple. That is pure golf there. That is one of the most important parts of the golf swing for me. Impact's king. What happens at impact's in king. The ball will tell you exactly what's happened at impact, so if you don't understand ball flight laws, you know from ball flight what's happened subject to strike. But certainly understanding that, if you can get strike right, back of the left wrist in the position it should be in, without even trying, just thinking about it on the way down. It's really clever. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel. Of course, it's free of charge. Hit the bell notification for instant notifications of all my videos. And the thumbs up button, give that a little click, and that's, I like that, YouTube likes that, and it seems to make things work a little bit better for me. So that would be much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video.